Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the African Wahala. It's been a long time coming. I haven't had the opportunity to come on live and have a quick discussion about some African issues. On today's opportunity, first and foremost, Happy New Year once again to the subscribers. It's been a long time. If you enjoy these types of content that relates to African people, both on the continent and outside the continent, topics affecting the political situation, the economic situation of African peoples, the emotional situations, all the dynamics that brings us together and keeps us at the position that we are in. That's what we talk about. This live stream is going to be in two parts. The first part is about the president of Namibia. He recently passed away, President Hage Geingob. Rest in peace to the president of Namibia. He passed away at the age of 82 years old in a Namibian hospital. Now, that's very, very important. Okay, he died in a Namibian hospital after receiving treatments for cancer and some other illnesses that he had. Rest in peace to him. We're going to talk about that briefly. And then we are going to talk about, in the second part of this conversation, the epidemic that has taken over a huge part of Nigeria as far as kidnapping is concerned. We're going to talk about it briefly. The entire length of the live stream will be 20 minutes. So, starting with the president of Namibia, Hage Geingob. Rest in peace to him. Like I said, he passed away in Namibia, which is extremely important because it's rare to have African leaders that die in their countries. You know, for the most part, African leaders use facilities in foreign countries in Europe. Whenever they have medical issues, they have to travel all the way to London. They travel to America, but that wasn't the case with Hage Geingob. Not only that, Hage Geingob turned out to be a very approachable president. I'll show you a quick clip of the interaction between Hague and his citizens. This was from 2022. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah. What are you doing here? Where are you from? Not British. Twenty, so we are all from there. I said, I'm meeting new people. Okay, enjoy it. You yesterday, this summer. But why do you come? I don't get paid. Why do you come to our area?
Oui, ça va.
Français?
Oui, je parle français.
Ouais.
Mhm.
You're going back?
Yeah, I'm going back for movement.
What you say here? Okay.
Okay, mission.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So, President Hague of Namibia, in all fairness, this looked like a good man. You can easily tell the type of mindset that a leader has when he allows himself to be approachable. You will hardly ever find another African leader, and I'm not saying there is no other one, but for the most part, you will hardly find an African leader, a president, someone at that level walking around with few security guys on a public beach and interacting with the citizens. It hardly ever happens. So, secondly, President Hague passed away in a Namibian hospital. I'll let you listen for a quick second.
For grocery delivery.
Just a quick second while this video loads. President Hague, like I said, he was treated for some illnesses. He had a colonoscopy. He had declared that he had prostate cancer in 2014, and he survived that ordeal. His medical records were known to the Namibian people. There was no secret with President Hage Geingob.
Sunday, while receiving medical treatment, his office announced on Sunday morning he was 82 years old. In a post on the social media platform X, formerly Twitter, the Namibian presidency said Geingob's medical team at Lady Pohamba Hospital in Vindek did its best to help him. But Geingob died with his wife, Monica Geingob, and children by his side. Geingob was undergoing treatment for cancer. The 82-year-old had a colonoscopy and gastroscopy on January 8th, followed by a biopsy, his office said last month. Angolo Mbumba, Namibia's acting president, called for calm, saying in the same post that the cabinet will convene with immediate effect in order to make the necessary state arrangements in this regard. Geingob, who was president of the Southern African nation since 2015, was set to finish his second and final term in office this year. In 2014, he said he had survived prostate cancer. Namibia is set to hold elections to choose a new leader in November.
Listen, it might sound a little bit weird that this is worth celebrating. You know, when you have a leader that is transparent, he's not hiding his medical history from his people. He gets treated in a local hospital, a local Namibian hospital, Our Lady of Pohamba. That's what the hospital is called. Our Lady Pohamba Private Hospital in Namibia. I think that reeks of a decent leader, because for the most part these African leaders, they've completely ruined the healthcare infrastructure in their countries, even though they are billionaires, because they have access to the money. They steal money with impunity, no problem. Then they take that money to Europe, America, and Asia for their own medical treatments. But in the case of President Haig, he died in a Namibian hospital. I know that might sound like it's far fetched. We are giving him too much credit for dying in his country, but it rarely happens. So for that reason, I have nothing but appreciation for the president of Namibia. Rest in peace to President Geingob. He was also known to be one of the facilitators for the creation of Namibia out of the control of South Africa. That happened in 1991, and he became the first prime minister. After that, he stepped out of politics, came back, and became the president. Um, ran for 2 terms. I just showed you a video of the president interacting with the people of Namibia. I mean, sometimes, even if you're not able to solve poverty in your country, but you're just able to be humane, you're able to, interact with the people. You don't see yourself like a god that the people have to worship. It goes a long way in telling the character of the individual. The people of Namibia might not be the wealthiest in the world. They still have a lot of problems, just like every other country of the world. But one thing that they had good going for them was they had a decent leader. I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm pretty sure if you dig deep into President Geingob's history, you'll find some controversial stuff, just like everybody else. But he was a decent person. So rest in peace to the president of Namibia. Um, he was 82 years old. I think he's done well for himself. Now, let's go to the second part of this conversation, the kidnapping epidemic taking place in Nigeria and how this situation has exposed the propaganda put out by Nigerian institutions. We had this family of, school students, high school students, not even high school, junior high school students. They were kidnapped on the highway along with their teachers in Ekiti. They were with the kidnappers in the kidnapping dungeon for about 5 days in total. During that period, the kidnappers demanded money from their family members so they could be released. And if you know anything about kidnapping in Nigeria, it's become institutionalized. It's so bad that even the National Youth Service Scheme, has created an information package in the booklet of the corpus where they are advised to be ready for a kidnapping situation. If you ever get kidnapped as a youth corper in Nigeria, these are the things you're supposed to do. Number one, according to the booklet of the NYSC, if kidnapped, the following tips should prevail. Do not resist the armed kidnappers. Keep calm and patient. Do not antagonize your captors. Establish a personal relationship. Listen, I'm just reading what the Nigerian government is advising its citizens to do when they get kidnapped. Okay. I'm not just making this up. This is in the handbook of the National Youth Corps or whatever. Establish a personal relationship with your captors as early as possible. The kidnappers may ask for your contact. Do not mention your place of work. Advise your friends involved in the negotiation. They should be friendly with your captors. Be prepared for a natural reaction of shock. Mentally note all you can about your abductors. just garbage. They're saying stuff about um, along the Abuja Lokoja Okene Highway, be alert and alert your family members and friends and colleagues in order to have someone on hand to pay off the ransom that could be demanded when you get kidnapped. That is what the Nigerian government is telling the Nigerian people to do when they get kidnapped. Because clearly the Nigerian government doesn't have the plans to end kidnapping anytime soon, while people are being kidnapped left, right, and center, getting killed, while 3 traditional rulers have been killed in 5 days by terrorists. The president of Nigeria is having a private visit in France. So that's the kind of country that Nigeria is. Absolutely ridiculous. Nobody can be held accountable for the loss of lives. But what makes it worse is the propaganda that is pushed out by the institutions. You have family members of these kids that were recently rescued. They told the media that they paid 15 million in ransom to the kidnappers. But then the police comes out with a statement claiming that we wish to inform the general public that the 5 school children, including their teachers, who were kidnapped on the 29th of January, have been rescued unhurt today, February 4th. So this is a lie right here. They claimed that these people have been rescued. That's what the police claimed. The same police claims that it is illegal for Nigerians to raise money, to crowd fund for money that would be given to kidnappers, especially on social media, that it's a crime. So I want you to follow me for a quick second. The police says it's illegal for you to raise money to give kidnappers. The same police comes out and takes credit for a rescue that happened as a result of the family members of the victims paying a huge ransom to the kidnappers. And at the same time, the police comes out and tells the people it's illegal for you to raise money to give kidnappers. And these are poor people. So if you don't get the drift just yet, the Nigerian police is one of the institutions that peddles propaganda to keep the people docile. Now, it's clear as day that the Nigerian government has no plans to end kidnapping, to end terrorism, and to end any one of these epidemics, even the destruction of the economy and all this other stuff. The Nigerian government has no plans to end these things. Then, when the Nigerian people come out and save themselves from these situations, the same way we've always saved ourselves from you don't have electricity, that's the normal life in Nigeria. You never have electricity. So, you, as the private citizen, your own government, you get yourself a generator and you provide electricity for yourself. You don't have water, You get a borehole in your house, you drill into the earth and get water for yourself. The government is not going to provide anything for you. And it's the same way the people are providing a rescue mission for themselves by crowdfunding on the internet for money demanded by kidnappers so they can rescue their family members. Now the government comes out and tells the people it's illegal. The same way the government is not able to protect the people and tells the people it's illegal for them to protect themselves. You have these Fulani terrorists coming into different communities, killing people, chasing them out of their villages and taking over their lands. When the people rise up with arms to protect themselves, the Nigerian military goes and kills those people. So yeah, that's the situation of Nigeria. If you never knew about the propaganda that is pushed by the institutions, the government institutions, including the police, I hope you are now aware. This was a pure lie that was exposed just today, the 4th of January, 2024. Police claims they rescued these innocent children that were kidnapped by the Fulani terrorists, but the family members of the victims came out and said they paid ransom for the police. But at the same time, the police had earlier came out and said it's illegal for the people to raise money for ransom on the internet for kidnappers. There you go. Thank you for joining me on the African Wahala today. I promised it was only going to be 20 minutes long. Right now, we are on 17 minutes and 22 seconds. So we're doing good. Thank you for joining me today. Click on the like button if you like this type of content. Just talking about some situations going on the African continent and outside Africa that affects African people. We spoke about the president of Namibia, President Hage Geingob. He passed away in Windhoek, the capital of Namibia. Highly impressive. He passed away in a Namibian hospital. We hardly see that situation play out where African leaders use the medical institutions in their countries to take care of themselves. It hardly ever happens. So salute to the president for for at least having one good enough hospital in Namibia that he could use. Secondly, we showcased how free he is with the people walking around by himself without 50 million security protecting him from the people of the country. Is freely walking around on a beach. It just shows you the character of President Hage Geingob. Approachable, he was one of the people that fought for the independence of Namibia from the control of the German, the German colonizers. And then under the South African apartheid, Namibia was under the control. President Geingob was instrumental in the fight for the liberation of of Namibia. So we just want to say thank you to the president for playing his own role in the progress of African people. And shout out to the listeners. Click on the like button, share the content, subscribe to the channel. Peace.